Let's take a break really fast from all the material and just go over a quick fun fact that I'm sure everyone has experienced some point in their life. Now, I'm sure everyone has at one point in their life stood up really fast and all of a sudden got extremely dizzy. So they just stood up and got dizzy all of a sudden. Now, the reason we can actually explain why someone gets dizzy based on what we already learned and physiology behind it and everything, and show that it's normal to get dizzy. I mean, unless you have pain going along with the dizziness. But when you stand up and you get dizzy really fast, it's a condition called orthostatic hypotension. Orthostatic hypotension. And hypotension is just a fancy word for low blood pressure. And when you have low blood pressure, that means you have less blood going to the brain. So whenever you think of getting dizzy or lightheaded, just think of the brain doesn't have enough blood. So we already reviewed that when you're laying down, you have a lower heart rate because blood is pooling in your torso. Now, right when you stand up, all of a sudden, all the blood that is going to your head, so you have this person, happy, he has blood going to his head. And now, right when you stand up, immediately all the blood chilling up here goes down to his legs because of gravity. And when this happens, he has no blood going to his brain for a heartbeat or two, because all the blood went to his legs. Now, during that second or two when the heart beats again and it speeds up, all the blood is going to its legs. So at this point, the blood is literally starved of oxygen. So the brain has no oxygen, so the brain is not happy. It's an unhappy brain. And when the brain doesn't have oxygen, it's a condition called hypoxia. And hypoxia is another fancy medical word for meaning lack of oxygen. So any organ can be hypoxic, which means it doesn't have oxygen. And this is somewhat what a stroke is. A stroke means your brain goes a prolonged period without oxygen and thus it dies, also blood. But in this instance, you just stood up really fast and the blood that was going to your brain now gets rushed to your legs because of gravity, and your heart has a little delay in order to propel blood to the brain. So it's only a second or two, but during that second or two, that the brain has no oxygen. So just in that second or two, you get lightheaded, you get dizzy because your brain is literally starving of oxygen. So that's just what happens when you stand up really fast. So now things that can actually prevent this is, well, I guess we'll say things that increase more of this is having a really low heart rate. Now we went over that having a high heart rate is, a low heart rate is normal because of exercising. It's effective vagal tone, it decreases your heart rate. But when your heart rate gets below a certain level, it's usually 50 beats per minute. When your resting heart rate gets below 50, that's really low, and you have to be really in shape to get below 50. And when your heart rate is this low, I mean, it's obviously beneficial because your heart is beating less, but your heart is beating so low that not all the blood, or it's very easy to become dizzy, or we'll call it, use again the fancy word, syncope. So it's just getting lightheaded and getting dizzy. It's very easy to become this because all the blood, your heart is being so slow. Even though your heart is so damn strong, it's so slow that it's very easy to become lightheaded and rest. Now this is the instance for me, like my resting heart rate used to be 35 or 40 when I was in college, and I was running every single day. So it used to be very low. And as a result, I used to get dizzy a lot. And every single time I stood up, I would get lightheaded and dizzy. And this was perfectly normal because my heart rate was so low. I stood up really fast. So that's one thing of having a low heart rate. It's just the effect of having a really low heart rate. Another reason why not enough blood can be going to your brain and you're lightheaded is because you're dehydrated. Now, if you're dehydrated, you get lightheaded. That's a side effect of being dehydrated. Everyone knows blood is water, pretty much. So the more water you drink, the more hydrated you are, the higher your blood volume is, the higher your blood pressure is. If your blood pressure is higher, you have more blood going to your brain. Now, in a dehydrated individual's case, they don't have a lot of blood going to the brain because the blood volume is less because they're not drinking a lot of water. So if you're dehydrated, just drink water and you won't be dizzy. Or you won't be lightheaded. So hydration is very, very important. So if you feel dizzy, just drink a lot of water. Drink a shit ton of water. So when people say you're dizzy, whatever, you're about to pass out, drink water, they're actually correct. It is beneficial. Water fixes pretty much everything, or it fixes a lot of things. So just drink a lot of water, and hopefully your lightheadedness will go away. Now the only way to really tell if you're hydrated, there's no other really test besides if your urine is clear, then you're hydrated. So that's really the only test. Now The only other thing that I can think of that can be causing you to be lightheaded and dizzy and whatnot is a brain tumor. And if you have a brain tumor, clearly go to a physician. This advice is not helping you. Don't just drink water and expect to be okay. And let's see what else. Oh yeah. So if you're lightheaded, you just drink a lot of water, and or you just stood up really fast, you have a slow heart rate. So it's not always bad if you're lightheaded and get dizzy. But now if you're lightheaded and dizzy and you also have pain in your chest or pain in chest running down your arms, going to your jaw, that's those are signs of a heart attack. So definitely go check out a doctor right away. But this is just a fun fact.